In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about the common symptoms of heart attack in women and 5 ways for you to naturally reduce your risk of heart disease and lower the possibility of having a heart attack. Stay tuned for more details in today's video. Hi folks, I am Dr. Melissa Gallagher. I'm a naturopathic physician and I work with women who have had heart attacks. If you're watching this video, more than likely you know somebody in your family that has heart disease, or you yourself might have been diagnosed with heart disease or have it currently without a diagnosis. And because it's February, I'm doing this video in support of Heart Health Month, but it's really important if we can touch any of our viewers that might be having these experiences. If we can limit the heart damage on your body, you're better equipped to actually recover better and have less of a life-altering experience. This is really super important information because heart attacks for women are different than heart attacks for men. A lot of our doctors are not explaining these very vague and everyday symptoms that add up to being a heart attack. I'm going to talk to you personally about heart disease because it runs in my family and it's really one of the diseases that I'm very conscious of. And I think it's really important for us to talk about the underlying symptoms. They're very common, everyday symptoms that add up to being a heart attack for a woman. And these are symptoms that we need to know and be aware of, because if they all start kind of occurring over the course of a few hours, we need to get to a hospital ASAP. Most of the time women get to a hospital and they already have heart damage. And the most common heart attacks for women are not the large clogged artery heart attacks. They're small vessels that are clogged, and that causes even more damage to the heart than what we see with men. So I want to list for you some of the symptoms that are common for women that are having a heart attack. And it's a combination of all of these. The traditional pain, chest, pressure, feels like an elephant sitting on your chest is not always normal for women. And in fact, the pain comes and goes, and it's usually right here. So right kind of at the lower sternum. Women will feel this pressure. It comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes. And a lot of times they think it's heartburn. It can feel that same kind of indigestion type of pain. Similarly, in the same spot in the back, there will be a upper back pressure. So kind of above, right in between the shoulder blades, will be an intense amount of pressure. Kind of the heartburny type of pain, sometimes pain in one arm, left or right. Sometimes there's swelling accompanied with that, cold sweats, nausea. Sometimes women vomit and they think they had the flu. Extreme fatigue will also accompany, and even exhaustion to the point where like they're panting or they're having a hard time catching their breath because of the contractions of the heart muscle. It's having that kind of convulsive heart attack. Shortness of breath and extreme inability to really kind of get a grip or grasp on their breathing cycle. That's very common. Feeling lightheaded, dizzy. Some women faint, which is really problematic if you want to try and drive yourself to the hospital. I don't advise that. Call the ambulance, 911. That's the fastest and safest route. You get instant medication that'll address some of these symptoms before you get to the hospital. Extreme fatigue is a big, big one. So a lot of women that have had heart attacks, post-heart attack, and interviewing them about their symptoms, what usually comes out is that they felt like they had the flu. Maybe they had eaten something wrong. They just had this kind of tightness that was coming and going, but it wasn't like a full-blown episode like maybe what they're used to seeing on TV. And we've dramatized heart attacks in such a way that women don't know how to recognize the symptoms. So those are really the top 10 things to look out for. If you are showing 4, 5, 6 of those, don't delay. Get yourself help. Call 911. And women, we need to talk with and amongst ourselves. Call your moms, your sisters, your aunts, your daughters, cousins, nieces, Everybody needs to know about what women experience for heart attacks because we are not doing enough to support the education. The next thing I want to cover in my video are the 5 ways that you can combat and minimize your risk of having a heart attack and coming down with heart disease. And these are 5 things that you may have heard of, some you might not have, and I hope this is helpful. So number 1, if you can get 30 minutes, just 30 minutes of walking exercise. You don't have to go into a high intensive cardio craziness, but some sort of physical activity where you are walking or being active for at minimum 30 minutes. If it's cold out and it's snowing and you don't have a gym membership and you have a home with stairs, walk up and down the stairs for 30 minutes, walk around your house. There are a lot of different ways to get exercise. Park far away from your shopping center, go to your local mall and walk indoors. Just think about 30 minutes of exercise in a creative way and it'll be more fun and you're more apt to do it. The second thing that is super important is to eat healthy fats. So animal fat consumption has been proven to be a huge risk in coronary heart disease. It also is a factor for women and the small vessel heart disease. The lipids, the unhealthy fats, get lodged in and clog the arteries. Moving towards a plant-based diet is crucial, but also getting healthy fats. Healthy fats won't cause the same type of effect that unhealthy fats have on the body. They don't get lodged in some of the vascular channels like an animal fat. One of the supplements that I love and recommend and use personally, I'm going to link down below. It's a product from Green Pastures and it's a butter oil. And it's been proven this butter oil can break up calcifications in the arteries and it can help eliminate toxic fat that is clogging your arteries. That long-term is stuff that leads to not only heart attacks, but arterial sclerosis, which is something I witnessed my grandmother pass from, and it was awful. And that can be a reversible disease if you catch it early on and you're using things like a butter oil that have high levels of vitamin K and other nutrients to help move those yucky fats and to keep our vascular system clean and free of things attaching to the surface, like cholesterol, which leads me to number 3. Cholesterol levels does not always mean that you are eating sometimes these really unhealthy foods. I have patients that come to my practice that have high cholesterol levels and that's it. When I dig deeper and analyze the root cause of the cholesterol levels, sometimes it's hormone imbalance, sometimes it's liver toxicity, sometimes it's insulin resistance that's causing that, and it's also sometimes dietary, a combination of all 4. So one of the things that I want you to think about doing is cleansing your liver. Supporting your liver will help your body flush out toxic debris that moves the bowels and gets excess cholesterol out of your body and not being recirculated in, because a constipated body, a constipated state is a toxic state that is reabsorbing cholesterol. We literally dump cholesterol out of our body through a bowel movement. When we are not regularly moving our bowels 2 to 4 times a day, we are in a constipative state. Shocking for many, I know, but as many times as you eat is as many times as you want to be using the restroom. So the 4th thing, somewhat related to cholesterol in terms of hormonal imbalance with the liver, is women that are perimenopausal, menopausal, or hormonally imbalanced and still cycling that have low estrogen levels. That's a big risk factor for heart disease. So getting your hormones under control, watch this video about hormone balance. I think you'll like it. I think you'll really appreciate some of the information that I highlight here, especially for perimenopausal and menopausal women, and even postmenopausal women. There are ways that you can naturally, without hormone replacement therapy, balance your estrogen levels so that you reduce your heart disease risk factors. And then 5th, reducing your inflammatory response and minimizing inflammatory diseases in your body. Rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, fibromyalgia, the list goes on. These are chronic inflammatory related diseases, and inflammation is proven. It's a hot point. Inflamed. What's the root of inflamed? Flame, fire. Fire in the body causes cellular breakdown. It causes cells to be inflamed. They literally grow in size. They are more susceptible to disease. They're more susceptible to a lack of cellular turnover. They're older, aging cells. They're not youthful, and they don't rebound well if an individual has heart disease, has a heart attack, and even, God forbid, surgeries. It's harder to recover from that. So if you can minimize your inflammation levels, I've got a video right here about inflammation, a diet video, and actually I'll link my playlist. I have a whole bunch of videos about how to limit inflammation in your body. But if you can reduce the inflammation in your body, you're less likely to have cells that are inflamed. That involves cleaning up your gut, cleaning up leaky gut. It involves eating good, healthy foods, getting rid of animal proteins and leaning towards more plant-based proteins, getting healthy fats, and using herbs. Some of the interesting studies on diet and herbal therapy looks at Ayurvedic and healing in Eastern cultures where there's a lot of really good spices. Spices and herbs are very cleansing and supportive to your heart and vascular system by reducing inflammation. Some of the herbs that I love and spices that you can use on your food and even take in a pill form are turmeric. That's a big one. I love, love, love turmeric. Garlic's another one, and ginger is really good for minimizing the inflammation in the body. So friends, those are my 5 tips for you to minimize your heart disease risk and to limit the risk factor for heart attack. But please be aware that the symptoms for women are totally different. And I hope that you'll watch some of the videos I linked down below. They'll be helpful in addressing all those 5 different ways to minimize your risk factors. And also, if you've experienced heart attack, symptoms that maybe I didn't list off, please tell us. Tell and share with our community here at Natural Health Resources. Your experience will help us learn and be more aware and cognizant of symptoms and disease pathology so that we can prevent it for the next person. You all inspire me, and I'm so grateful for your time. I hope you have a wonderful, happy February, and happy Valentine's Day.